I did a thing. I built a slot machine. So a new Snapshot just came out earlier this week. And they added the shelf block to Java Minecraft. Bedrock has had this for a bit, but I don't play a whole lot of Bedrock. But now that it's in Java, I did the first thing that came to mind when I saw this thing and built this slot machine. So the way that this works is you, like, let's say you have your diamonds, right? You want to put them in the dropper, and then you flick the lever. That's going to clear the previous game. And boom! That's your victory condition, right? Now it should spit out 2 diamonds for us, and we can reinvest. And it's actually not going to get this wrong right now because this randomizer is not very random at all. Okay, so now we should be more likely to lose rather than win. Okay, so we got our 15 diamonds. And nope, didn't get all 3. That's a loss. All right. I definitely made it trickier to win. Oh, maybe not. Well, we broke even there. Okay, so let me explain how this works. So you put your diamond in here, right? That is going to be fed into this hopper, which feeds directly into this one. This is a filter, right? Which works by having a comparator coming out of it, sending the signal around to this torch here. So if the signal is strong enough, it will unlock this torch, which will unlock this hopper, which will let the items flow through. Otherwise, it keeps it locked, and it keeps it locked at this 18 diamonds here. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22 items total. So once that happens, in addition to unlocking the hopper, it's going to push a redstone signal out, and this is going to be split up off 2 different directions. We'll follow the top one for now. This is a mess, I'll be honest. I have quite a bit of redstone going on here. I kind of just made like a chain that hits this copper block twice. And what that's going to do is it's going to unpower this torch, which is going to unpower this block, which is going to unpower this hopper that is connected directly below the shelf. So currently with it locked, the items are allowed to stay in the shelf. But when you hit the button, it's going to clear those out because it's going to unlock this. It's going to pull them out. It's going to drop them down into this chain here, which wraps back around over into this water stream. This is just a dropper that has a self-dropping thing built in. So if it has an item, it detects that, and then it powers this torch, which in turn gets rid of the item into this water stream, flowing back into these sets of hoppers here. And then these are what gets spit out, right? And back into the shelf, right? So continuing on, in addition to doing all of that, unlocking that hopper, the signal that you're sending when you put a diamond in, it's going to come down as well, toggle this, which is going to be fed this direction. I have all of these, I believe, set to 4 ticks, just for it to give it plenty of time to drain the previous items before it triggers these randomizers, which work by if you have a non-stackable item shoot out of this into this hopper, then it will give a redstone strength of 2, which will make it all the way up the chain, which will trigger these droppers here. Otherwise, if it's the diamond, it won't make it up, and therefore it won't output one of these swords here. So the idea is you have 3 different rolls here, and if they're all successful, then they will all output the swords, and you will have a win condition. Otherwise, if only 1 or 2 of them makes it through, then you get nothing. All right? That's how that works. So the next thing that happens is, okay, let's say you do win. You have all 3 pop up right here, right? Or even 2 or 1. 2 or 1, it just doesn't do anything because you have... The way the shelf works, by the way, is it will output a signal strength between 1 and 7, depending on the order, like depending on which slots are filled. And it kind of works in a little bit of a binary system. So rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, it's more like 1 here is 1, then 1 here is 2. And you would think 1 here is 3, but no, that's actually 4. 3 is going to be these 2 together. Slot 1 and slot 2. 4 is slot 3. 5 is slot 3 and slot 2. 6 is slot 3 and slot 1, and then 7 is all 3. So all we're looking for here is all 3 to be filled, which is going to output a signal strength of 7. I probably have too many comparators here. Again, I'm not much of a Redstone expert by any means. This is just something I threw together. Anywho, so yeah, it's going to output a signal strength of 7. We're going to use this item frame here with an item in it, turn to all the way to the left, and what that's going to do is output a comparator signal of 6, and then this is in subtraction mode. So that's where we're getting the signal strength of 1. So you're taking the 7 and you're subtracting 6, and you're left with 1. And if you have anything less than 7, then it's not even going to let the signal strength through at all, right? So we need this to be 1 in order for the victory condition, which currently I have set up to play a little tune with note blocks. It's just like a ding, ding, ding. And then it's also going to power this piece of redstone here, which is going to send a signal down these chain of observers, which is going to split into 2 different paths. Now, something to note real quick is the fact that when this gets unpowered, that is going to go down the chain again, which was a little bit of a problem I had, which is why this splits into 2. So the first time the signal comes down, it's going to toggle this copper block here, which is going to go through the chain, and it's going to lock this repeater in whatever state it's in. Currently it's off, so it should do that first. It's going to lock it. You're going to hit the button. It's going to clear everything out. As it clears everything out, the redstone signal up there right now is going to turn off. It's going to go down the chain. I want to lock this because I don't want this signal to go through, because I don't want to pay out whenever you're just starting a run on it, right? You want to only trigger it at the end. So it locks, and then new items are dispensed into the shelf. And once again, if it's 3 items, it will power that signal. It will send that signal down this line of observers. It will trigger that off, which will toggle the lock and let the signal through for the victory. And this is definitely a mess, and I am very certain there's a way better way to do this. What I was going for here was a way to control the amount of pulses that I'm sending to this dropper here. Ideally, I would like to be able to configure it to be whatever I want it to be, so I can make it pay whatever. But what I've ended up with here is something that gives me two pulses, right? So that's going to output your 2 diamonds. If you know of a better way to do this, by all means, put something else here, because this is just a mess. It's literally just, you have this line here splitting off 2. I'm delaying the signal this direction and this direction, so it should hit this one first. Twice, because it's an observer. This is going to power on and then off, which is going to shoot that forward and then backwards. And it's supposed to work the same way with these 2. I was trying to shoot for 3, which is why there's 3 here. But for whatever reason, it only fires twice whenever there's a victory. So that means that you get 2 diamonds, which is fine. This is definitely something I want to work on and make better, but it works for now. It gets the point across. Again, this is mostly just a proof of concept. All right. So that's how that works. Comes down here. If and only if you have 3 items in the shelf. That's what triggers all of this, which will trigger the payment, and then you win. Yay. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it. Of course, we have our water streams here, so this dropper is going to dispense your winnings into this, which is going to launch it up. And we just have this trapdoor, so you're not looking at a water stream. You can do this however you want. This was just the best way that I could find to do it. Yeah, so once again, if you want to change the odds, you would just manipulate the items in here. You would have more stackable items if you want to give a better chance, or you would have less stackable items and more, or you would have non-stackable items if you want a better chance, or stackable items if you want a worse chance, right? And there's 3 different ones here, so you can manipulate them individually. You can make it literally a 50-50 by just putting swords in the first 2, like so, and then having this be a 50-50, right? So now this is equal. Like you're paying 1 and you have a chance to win 2, and it's a 50-50 shot. So this is a really good deal. Let's see if with 1 diamond we can win. Yep, there we go. So now we got 2. And that's how it works. Yeah, it's a mess. I would do a full build tutorial, but I'll be honest, I would have to follow along on my own build to remake it. And I think that would take more time. I think a better idea is going to be, I will leave a world download in the description so that you guys can get your hands on this and look at it from every possible angle, just to build it using, this as the reference, and you don't have to click through the video and try to find, oh, like I couldn't see what this block is or that block was. This was a fun project. I definitely have some ideas for things I could do differently. Mainly, this is kind of limiting, only being able to output a signal strength of 1 through 7, depending on whether or not there's an item in any given slot, as opposed to specific slots if it has a non-stackable item or a stackable, outputting even different signals. So it kind of limited to, I mean, I could hook it up to where it's just, if you get 1, it's a loss. If you get 2, you win a little bit. If you get 3 hits, then you get the jackpot. That's a possibility, but something else I had in mind is just using this as a display, and instead using droppers with kind of like this, where you have a non-stackable item, an item that stacks 64, and then something like a snowball or an ender pearl that stacks 16, because I believe those are going to output different redstone signals. So yeah, if I just have one of these, that's an output of 1. Oh, that's also an output of 1. So maybe that doesn't work. Well, the sword is 3, so you could at least do it based on 2 items. You could at least have a non-stackable item and a stackable item, and they would output different signals. And if you randomized a stackable and a non-stackable, like I have here, but those are what goes into these hoppers, you could check these hoppers to see what signal strength they have, and only if you meet the right conditions, like all 3 are swords, will it be a victory condition, right? And then you're just using the shelf more as a display. That is something that could definitely work for sure, and I might play around with trying to make that as a concept, but I think I'm pretty happy with this build how it is. Save for some of the messier bits of the redstone that I've done here. This was a lot of fun. Be sure to like and subscribe and do all of that, especially if you want to see more builds like this. I had a lot of fun making this, and Redstone is one of the most incredible game features I've ever seen in a video game. It is so much fun. Well, yeah, that's gonna be pretty much do it. Hopefully you kind of understood how everything works now a little better. Just whatever you do, gamble responsibly, or you'll lose it all. Yep, just like that. All right, see you guys next time.